bring everybody together are very
and also an agreement to facilitate training.
I would like to say that there's a lot of opportunities for business relations to be developed, especially with Uruguay. Ambassador has helped me to get in touch with the Uruguayan Wool Association, and we have invited them to come to Bangladesh, and they came here, and I took them to 3 top wool importers in Bangladesh. They are actually selling 18 mn to 32 nm wool, and we are bringing in tops. We are not bringing fibers, we are bringing in tops, and these are coming into Bangladesh duty-free through the bonded warehouse facility with the objective these are manufactured into sweaters or knits and exported. So the quality of wool that has come into Bangladesh, the spinners are very happy, and their price is more attractive than the Australian same quality. So Uruguay is, I think, will be having a great success in this wool. Also, I would like to inform that we are also keen to develop soybean seed. We will also get in touch with the help of our ambassador to get few soybean seed supplier.
132 million for Thailand, 2,500 million. But they are importing a lot from Thailand, and
it's not simply export and import. You see, one of the real challenge, I'm sure captains of the ministry industry here, for me, is technology and innovation, the capability of that being absent, but in dire need in Bangladesh. Bangladesh industry, we take great satisfaction that we are 35th or 34th largest economy, and will be eventually crossing beyond 30. But for the manufacturing industry to go farther beyond, the technology is going to be the main differentiator, and where it will come. So my understanding would be that in some of the industries, the way we made it in Apple and Apple industry, we can make a similar thing there. So it can be in terms of circularity, it can be maybe something, because now IoT is also coming into Apple. So those kind of, how do we include, and that's because sometimes we are overwhelmed by something called scale. Let's move away from that, and let's think that how can we create mutuality of interest. So all that we've been hearing for last 1.5 years, it all tells me that there are fabulous menu of mutuality of interest that can be carved into. Much doesn't exist, but it has to be carved, and it can be carved. I'm very fully convinced about it. I often used to say that if we think of relationship or try to judge it in terms of trade volume, in terms of investment, I think we're looking and we're making a great mistake by portraying or positioning that in more of a transactional relation. Transaction can help us advance a little bit, but not in the long run. Long run relationship we have to really anchor. It has to be a friendship. What does it mean? What do we mean? Obviously, Luis says, I'm a fan of Luis Suarez, but that is just one. Essentially, when we need to really make it, we have to unlock it through language. You have your great Spanish language, and this type, but we have to get the connects as to, and we might have to think more creatively that where and how we can meet the connects, particularly between a youthful nation and yours as well. So, given the demographics, once we do that, sky's the limit. Because unless what he was saying in terms of the suspicion, apprehension about the immigration, that is what we have to confront with. How do we do that? I think once we start doing that through different, sports is maybe one.
in terms of imports from India, we have some bilateral FTA.
We have had disastrous experiences with visas. Not with people from Bangladesh or from India, no, it has nothing to do. But it has to do with how our immigration departments behave towards the visa issue, especially for countries that are highly populated. And they prefer to say, you know what, we better don't engage into any arrangement of visas because it's something that is going to be against us and not in favor of us. So in order to change that point of view, I say, well, go, talk to the people of immigration and tell them that most of your people are not criminals, are not people that want to go to our country to do bad things. So put them in their head that the panorama has to change. I mean, I tell that to the Indians, and I tell the same thing to the Bangladeshi, because they have a preconcept that countries with high populations can generate situations of, invading a country. If you stay, only 3 years in Uruguay, you can obtain the residency. And after those 3 years, you can have the passport. And after you have the passport, it is easier for that person to go to the United States. So that's the real reason. The misuse of, those advantages that could happen, but not necessarily it's always like that. Now with Mr. Trump in office, I don't think it's going to be that easy. We are witnessing a whole bunch of situations that really go against that. So I would say, go to make approaches between the ministries of the interior of the different countries in order to take that bad image without real support that the authorities of immigration have to make it easier. Because I don't see an agreement in visas coming just because of, nice conversation between the countries. It will never happen, in my opinion, and I deal with visas daily.
As well, where investment and it's only they are top among Latin America, but they hold.
The experience and information, whatever I know, the major part of the export we are exporting to Uruguay, it is not directly to the Uruguayan importers. You have to understand the difference. Because there are big brands who are selling to all over the world, like Walmart, like JCPenney, like CK, Tommy Hilfiger, Zara. They have the stores everywhere in the world. So the major part, so far I know, so far my belief is that majority of these goods are going through that channel. So if you talk about the genuine local importers from Uruguay, our market share is quite negligible, very, very little. And that market, incidentally and logically, dominated by Brazil. The Brazil is also importing, but they are also still a big producer of the local garment in the local market, and that's the reason in the Brazil import duty for the apparel is more than 40%. So trying to protect their local market. So, but there is a huge potential as we are having only 8.5% of the export share of the market of Uruguay. And that is, I think we can increase the market share only when the interaction between importers and exporters will take place. As I told, I just came from Mexico, and it is my 40th country. Not that much, I think in this room people travel many, but still 40 countries, not a small number, but I had never been in South America as well. That's the part of the world we always feel it is too far. It is really too far, and somehow we have to minimize that gap. Maybe it's a mental gap, it's a really physical gap, because communication is not that much comfortable like what we have with the North America and other part of the world.